Casey Houck. I am Morgan's special education teacher. And we're just going to take a moment to go around the circle and have everybody introduce themselves to you as you would like to be addressed in this meeting and state your role as well.
My name is Brianna. I'm the general education teacher.
I'm Michelle Butler and I'm the code teacher.
My name is Joie and I'm a speech therapist.
I'm Danielle and I'm Morgan's behavior analyst.
My name is Rachael and I'm the LEA.
I'm Lauren McCrane and I'm the student.
My name is Miss McCrane. You can refer to me as Anne. I'm Morgan's mother. I want to thank you guys for having this meeting today. It's very nice to meet all.
So the purpose of today's meeting is to hold the annual or yearly IEP for Morgan. We're going to review her present levels of performance as well as, which includes her assessment results, strengths, weaknesses. Also, it's going to include any concerns of the team members here that are all working for Morgan's best interest. And we're going to try and achieve progress towards goals, her proposed goals, placement options, and services needed to excel in her education program.
So before we get this meeting rolling, does anyone have any time restrictions for today's meeting at this time?
I'm about a half hour to put this up, so if we could just stay in that limit.
So everybody just keep that in your thoughts and make this meeting quick but efficient as well.
Thank you.
Annie, in front of you is a copy of your parent rights. Please remember that it is very important that you are actively involved in the educational planning for your child. If you ever have any questions or concerns about Morgan's IEP, please contact me. If we need to, we can schedule a review IEP to bring the team back together to discuss your concerns or address your questions.
Thank you.
Today we will discuss present levels of performance, followed by the review of goals. We will then determine appropriate placement and services. We will finish the meeting by reviewing what we agreed upon and any actions that need to be followed up with. Do you have any questions on it?
Basically, I just want to talk about any long-term goals. I just want to better my child's future. So, whatever we have to do.
So before we get this meeting started, maybe we should get some ground rules running. We want to make sure that everyone's fair and equal and that we're all talking of our own perspectives and we're respecting others' opinions. So if you have any questions, just wait till the end of our meet and we can always talk about anything. Is everyone okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with Morgan. Morgan, what do you like about school and what do you struggle with?
I like working in small groups with my classmates. I like adding simple math, but when it gets to harder problems, I simply can't do it. And I have a hard time understanding what I read at some lessons.
So, I think she tends to get frustrated and acts out during homework time. We've been taking her homework and breaking it up, but that also does, if she gets through it, also just takes longer. It takes an extremely long amount of time to see it gets done. I oversee the behavioral analysis, and that's really working, and we really like the time that you're giving to her. We see improvement at home, basically. It's really working. Thank you.
We're also seeing improvement when I'm with her for special ed. She is grasping the basic concepts of math, which is really good. And so all we really need to work on is how she keeps up with the class's pace academically. But when she does apply herself, she succeeds very well in class.
In social studies, she has a lot to read. She has a little bit of trouble comprehending what's going on. But she really enjoys it when I put her in small groups and works with the other kids.
I'd have to agree with Brianna. As a co-teacher, I work a lot in both special education and general education in the small groups. And when Morgan is placed in small groups, she just has more pressure taken off of herself and she has more confidence in her work and her ability to learn because of the fact that she's working with others and the responsibility is not solely on her.
I work with Morgan 2 times a week for 35 minutes because of her language delays, and she has showed great improvement in her listening skills as well as her oral expression. Her scores also show that she's improved both learning skills and in her performance. But sometimes she has difficulty forming complex sentences, so that's what we're currently working on. And if you look back on her test, I showed you a test of her, and the test shows that she has language delays.
I see Morgan 5 times a week for 2 hours each day, and we're really working on her attention and her ability to focus on her work, even when it's not in small groups. I know she excels in that, but we're trying to have her work independently, and I know at home we're having her do her homework independently, and we're trying to keep her on task. So it seems to be working. I hope it's improving for everyone else in the classrooms.
I see improvements.
Are there any other questions or concerns about this area?
It takes up a lot of my time after school, 5 times a week for 2 hours. Am I ever going to be able to spend time with my friends?
Well, yeah, we can definitely work on that. As we see improvement, we can try to shorten your time as well. Maybe I can even come into the classroom and do some class time instead of taking away your home time.
I also think that, like we are seeing a lot of improvement with you coming there, but she's not in extracurricular activities or even just her friends outside. So I feel like she's missing on the social aspect, and so if we could just maybe work on shortening that time a little bit so she could be able to participate in them other things.
Yeah, definitely. As we see improvement, we can definitely work on different time frames. and
Right,
stuff
because I also
that
don't want
works
to take
for
it
her.
away from her too.
Yes,
so.
definitely. Definitely, yes, I understand.
I can also adjust my schedule in the learning support classroom so that Danielle can come in and work with her so that she does have more free time at home and less stress about such like a long day.
Understandable.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have noticed that in terms of reviewing her progress and certain concerns that we have, we are testing different strategies and modifications to improve her reading efficiency. So we've been working on that each day. So that includes her comprehension, her fluency, and also we're working on like the anxiety and the confidence level of reading aloud to her fellow peers.
So I just haven't seen much difference in her reading skills. I know like you obviously see more in the classroom, but at home I haven't seen much of a difference.
Well, we can work on, I can send Morgan home with some packets, some articles, and like various worksheets that you can work with her at home, like if the time allows it, or we could even work on things at extended periods of time at school if you're busy at night on a certain day.
No, I was definitely wondering at least once a week, even as a whole group, if we could get something together, maybe a packet once a week, and I'll definitely work on it with her at home.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea. We can all give feedback to each other, even if the
Yeah.
if the packet, if we're all sworn, we can always have a group email or something.
Yeah, that'll work on.
The packet would be great though, because it'd be a more materialistic thing.
Okay.
Also, so for the beginning structure of the IEP, if everyone opens up to page 6, we have some of the assessments that Morgan has completed for our state testing at WCU, and we have some of the grades. So if everyone's opened up, I can review some of them grades and just follow along. It shows that Morgan is below basic and basic for some different areas of reading and math. So start off with reading. When she's given a question that she needs to explain how an author develops a point of view of the narrator or speaker in a text, she's only scoring below basic, so we know that that's something we need to all work on to improve. But then when she needs to cite textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly as well as inferences drawn from the text, she's scoring proficient. So we are moving up in that category. When it comes to math, when she needs to express numbers in equivalent forms, she's scoring on the basic level. And so far, for selecting and using operations to simplify or solve problems, she's only scoring below basic. So that's another category we all need to work on to improve Morgan's math skills.
Are there any other questions about her previous IEP?
Squared away on that one.
Okay. So one of the main goals that we're going to be working on, as I said before, is in regards to reading. So we want to increase her word recognition by identifying 95% of the words correctly. So she will be given small group instruction, and the text can be read aloud for her until she develops the comfort and lowers the anxiety of reading on her own.
She really needs to be able to transition well and with ease. She will have to be able to succeed in the transition times and work on all of her peers.
Like I said earlier, sorry, that I'm big on like doing stuff at home, so would there be anything we could include in the packet for transition, like different things we could do to work on it at home so it's easier for you here?
Yes, I will develop a packet. I can send it home with you Monday this week.
Okay, thank you.
To help improve and establish her goals, we can give her more small group learning and repeated practice with express numbers, equivalent forms at 80% accuracy with 4 out of 5 trials.
How will you be able to do that specifically?
Well, Morgan's already shown and she likes small groups, so more small group learning and repeated practice. Also concerning one of Morgan's concerns about her social aspect with her friends, as Danielle stated, as she begins to show more improvement, lessen her hours, or has Casey has said, put her behavior analysis like in her special education. We could also, so that we're not taking away from her schoolwork and learning, have an after-school program we just started. We can enroll Morgan in that, and that way she's still learning, but she's still with her peers as well. So it's in the school environment, but she's not one-on-one with a teacher or a specialist. She's with her friends as well. So, and it'd be small group learning, which we all know Morgan excels in.
Right. My goals for Morgan is that she'll be able to produce the following sounds accurately, and she also will be able to produce 5 to 6 word sentences with the accurate usage of the following grammatical structures. And all of these will be monitored quarterly, so if you want it along with the packet, I can send home the progress that she's making. And also with the packet, I can also send home drills for you to do, so she's not just always working on paperwork, so when you're in the car, you can work with her with these
That's
strategies.
great, thank you.
So how will the speech support carry into my classroom or even the general education classroom in regards to fluency and comprehension? Because that's what
Well,
we're
when
working
she's
on.
able to produce those sounds, you can monitor her progress when she's reading out loud in the class.
Okay.
You could also tell from her voice if she has anxiety.
Mhm.
And also from forming these sentences, you'll be able to see her comprehension of the text. So
Okay.
you'll see her skills either grow or reduce.
Okay.
As Morgan's behavior analyst, we've been working on keeping on task. So we have her given a task or direction. She begins it within a minute, and we try to last it within 10 minutes. So we're trying to enhance her focus and keep her on task. I know at home we've definitely tried that, so I hope it's carrying over into the classrooms. I hope that you guys are seeing her stay on task more, because that's really what we're working on the most.
Will that eventually increase from the 10-minute span?
Yes, definitely. I definitely want to work on where she gets to the point where she's able to cooperate with her peers and not have to go so much in small group learning, where she can keep her attention to the rest of the class.
That's another one of my main focus, that she can be in the whole group setting and not have any anxiety.
Yes.
Because of course, when she moves on eventually, 7th, 8th grade, even high school, I want her to be able to have the whole group learning
Yes.
as well as the small group.
Yeah, definitely. As we see improvement, we're definitely going to keep working on. We're going to keep monitoring her progress, and you can always let me know things you see at home, if you see improvements or any weaknesses that we need to work on.
Thank you. So,
Okay.
sorry.
Any other concerns or questions?
I also just want to say that I just want her to be able to complete her homework at one sitting. I mean, I know how I said, like, it takes us about 3 hours to finish one night's homework because we have to break it up. So at least one sitting, so that'll even give her more social time. Basically, my biggest thing is I want her to have social time as well. She struggles so much in school, so I want her to have her free, relaxed time. So if we could just work on the homework thing. But that will go with what you were saying, more than 10 minute spans.
Yeah.
To help.
We can definitely make adjustments in that because, I mean, social is part of growing and her social aspects will also increase her confidence. So that can actually improve her scores and such in the classroom. So we can definitely make adjustments towards homework and how we're seeing her improvements.
Morgan will participate in the general education curriculum for readers workshop and math procedures. She will receive a modified curriculum to support her acquisition of general education concepts to coding, science, and math intervention instead of the general education writing and social studies. She will be receiving differentiated instruction due to the lack of retention of new material in the general education classroom, and she will participate in the general education curriculum for specials.
Morgan is also going to receive full-time special education supports for at least 80% of the day. So she will have a lot of support to work on her coping, reading, fluency. Everything will be provided to make it easier for her to be successful throughout the day. And these specific supports will include learning support as well as speech and language support. And if we're going to incorporate the behavior into my classroom, then that will also be allowed.
The one thing I'm not really familiar with, how often is she in the general education classroom and how often is she in your classroom?
She is with me for the majority of the day, like I said, 8% of the day. She obviously sees her general education teacher for social studies. We're also incorporating science and things like that, but mainly reading and math, she's with me.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns about this area?
Is this going to help me move on to 7th grade in time with my friends?
Definitely.
Yeah.
we're incorporating all these supports to make sure that you can move on so that you're comfortable. We wouldn't want to hold you back because that would also hold you back developmentally, and we're not looking to do that. So we are, as we incorporate the supports, you will move on with your friends.
We're all here willing to help you get through that, so definitely if you have any concerns throughout the year, throughout your work, definitely don't hesitate to come to any one of us.
Appreciate that, thank you.
So, now that we've like discussed any accommodations and all the accommodations and goals, like, is there any, maybe there's like a way that we could, communicate after this? Like, is there any way that's best for you to communicate after this?
I mean, phone, email, either or, whatever's easiest for you guys.
Okay, so maybe like when we do our sign out sheet, we can maybe write an email, and then we can just start group emailing so we can like monitor progress and stuff like that. So we make sure that we're all on the same page for Morgan's benefit.
Definitely.
Well, thanks everybody for coming to the meeting, and we hope that this improves Morgan's ability in school.
Thank you, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. I know it's hectic around this time of year. Thank you.
Here is a sign-in sheet that I would like you to write your name and your email so we can keep in contact. And thank you again for this IEP meeting.